Chapter 4, April 1967. Shortly after sunrise, the professor woke me up. I was already dressed up because I had slept in my day clothes. He suggested a drive to a cafe for breakfast, and afterwards he would show me my new living quarters where I could freshen up and unwind. I took my luggage and stored it on the back of the seat of the car. We drove down in to Cavano Corso near the public square because it was easy to park the car there. During the short journey, the professor explained that he liked to work early because the streets of the car park were crowded. He told me that to wait, and he went into the Cafe Corso. He came out a few minutes later with 2 rollicky bread rolls, a bar Figaro chocolate, and a Bravo, the Truth daily newspaper. As voluble as ever, and pouring real coffee from a vacuum flask into plastic cups, the professor told me that the writer Franz Kafka used to go to the Corso to meet his friends. The professor preferred having breakfast in the car because he could not bear any conversations before a cup of coffee and a pipe. He regarded the car as an extension of his office and breakfast room. This was his way of saying that he did not like eavesdroppers. He asked me whether I had read some writing by Franz Kafka. I said that I once tried to read a story called Metamorphosis, Die Verwandlung, but I was not sure whether I understood the stories correctly. Did the protagonist really wake up as a giant cockroach and become an embarrassment to his landlady? The professor laughed and said that my own landlady lived in the vicinity of Uminuti, Kafka's old residence. I said that I was honored to hear about this literary connection. We left the car at the Corso and walked with luggage through Saletno Street to Old Town Square. We passed the Hussite tin church and its famed astronomical clock, past an old black house covered in white graffiti silhouettes. The professor said that this was Uminuti House, and I thought that it was the ideal setting for the cockroach story. Olga Varadiova's sister from Irina Korbachova rented a flat in a 1920s brownstone apartment building with stone arches on the opposite side of Uradnice Square. The professor let us in with the outside key. We clambered 2 flights of steep steps and walked along the outside corridor. We called those Pavlach at the back of the building. Irina Korbachova, a tall woman in her 50s, opened the door after the professor knocked. We took our shoes off and left them in the kitchen. We followed the landlady into the parlor. In the past she might have been a shapely brunette, perhaps with sensual lips and cold blue eyes, but perhaps she never was and always looked like her sister. She had a deep scar on the right side of her face. She was gaunt, crooked, and wore horn-rimmed jam-jar glasses. She wore a white shawl over her green rayon dress and white ballet shoes. She smiled and said that she hoped her appearance did not disturb me. The fascists did that to her. I replied that the fascists had a lot to answer for because they also killed my father. The professor said that this is exactly why he hired me. What united us was a common dislike for fascism.